In layman's terms, regulatory risk means non-compliance with legislation. This can lead to fines, damage to reputation, and of course criminal convictions. Within context of third-party risk management here in the UK, we've seen two pieces of legislation really drive the agenda in the last decade. The first is the UK Bribery Act. The second is the evolving money laundering regulations. These are both driven by Europe, and similar laws exist across each country. The combination of these statutes, allied to growing pressure applied by banks to their banking relationships with corporates, has seen companies move beyond traditional KYC to a wider scope of KY3P, Know Your Third Party. This means having adequate due diligence in place to cover receipt of funds from customers, but also payments to suppliers, and broader scrutiny of all business partner relationships, agents, distributors, franchisees. As with all legal systems, change is constant, but staying current is critical. We can see three key drivers as to why regulatory risk is of increasing concern to our clients within the context of third-party management. The first is updates to key pieces of legislation. I'm speaking here of the fourth Money Laundering Directive and its increased focus on one of the most difficult areas of research, identification of beneficial ownership. The second are new types of audits. These look behind the logic of risk models and algorithms, rather than simply accepting these on face value. And the third is innovations driven by technology, particularly with an online payment processing. Opening up instant transactions across your third-party network increases susceptibility to fraud. The story of 3 regional estate agents hit with 6-figure fines in 2014 speaks to tougher regulation of that sector. It also speaks to fines for improper process rather than proven conduct. The message here is simple. If the conditions exist for inadequate due diligence, the regulator will act proactively, not just reactively, to make their mark. The starting place for outlining a management program in this area is to think about your appetite for risk. Think about the markets, sectors, types of transactions, and of course any regulated business lines. From here, you'll find some common principles. This helps you calibrate a risk-based approach. This in turn becomes pervasive, governing all interactions between you and external third parties. From this point, programs become more specific. Who is making decisions? What access to information do they need? We see recurrent themes here: gaps in data, lack of relevant market intelligence. As programs become more mature, we think of the benefits of risk models to harmonise processes, especially critical in the context of outsourced relationships or increasingly globalised supply chains. Finally, make the case for automation, reviewing and not doing. Our clients manage relationships through intuitive dashboards. This facilitates ongoing monitoring and frees up time from traditional compliance legwork to focus on the real value add: risk strategy, resource allocation, and long-term planning.